Presto?
Yes!
What are you doing way down there?
I was waiting for my entrance.
Oh, okay. Well, we haven't had you on 3-ingredient recipes in quite some time.
I know. I was waiting for my entrance.
Oh, well, now you're here.
Yes.
You seem like you have enough energy to make a 3-ingredient recipe with us.
Of course.
Well, do you think that if we made something with a lot of sugar, that would give you too much energy?
No. I couldn't have too much energy. We can never have too much energy.
Well, I guess we'll see. So what we're going to do today is make a lovely, light, sugary cookie. What do you think about that?
Ooh.
They are called Palmier.
Palmier.
Or they are also called elephant ears.
I'm around it.
I know, but these are really delicious. They are very light, they're very French, and they are always, as always, 3 ingredients.
Ooh, lovely.
Just a minute and we'll see how to make them.
Ooh.
So our first ingredient for these Palmiers is puff pastry.
Le puff pastry.
That's right. Palmiers is a French cookie, and puff pastry is used in much of French cooking. And so we are going to actually use pre-made puff pastry, and we're going
Le puff.
Le pouf?
I don't know. Le puff pastry.
Le pouf pastry.
I don't know.
And we're going to use 1 sheet of this.
One sheet?
Yep, and you're going to want to make sure you defrost it before you start.
Ooh.
Our next ingredient.
I know what that is.
Yeah, I think you might know this a little bit too much.
Me.
Well, for those who can't read, it is white sugar.
Sugar.
Yep, white sugar for a white
like the rabbit.
Yep, we are going to use 1 cup. You might not use all of the sugar for this recipe, but it's good to have it in reserve so that you can put it inside the cookies and also dust the cookies with the sugar and give some to the rabbit.
I found the other ingredient.
Well, thank goodness, because you ate all the rest of the sugar. I'm glad I took the sugar out of the container before you ate all of it.
Yeah.
So our final ingredient is butter.
Butter.
Now, of course, the puff pastry has a lot of butter in it already, but this butter is going to help the sugar stick to the inside of our cookies, and it also gives a little bit of flavor as well. I like to use the salted butter because there's no salt in this recipe.
How about sugared butter?
You know, there is sugar and butter. I bet we could make a sugared butter if you want to. But why don't we see if you want some sugared butter after you try these cookies, because they're really good. I'm starting out with my puff pastry, which I have been defrosting for about a half an hour right on my countertop. If you're using this pre-made puff pastry, you're going to want to take it out of the freezer, but you don't want to defrost it for too long. The thing that makes puff pastry puff up is the fact that the butter stays cold, and then the water that is contained within the butter kind of turns into steam really quickly, and it makes all those layers. So you only have a little bit of time to work with this. You want it when it is just defrosted, but not so soft that it's going to stick. So now I'm just going to roll this out. I've got it lightly floured. I also have my rolling pin lightly floured, and I'm just going to roll it out so that it expands in size, probably by about 1/3 on each direction. Now that this is rolled out fairly thin, you're going to want to try to keep this in as rectangular a shape as you can, because we're going to be cutting them into even-sized pieces. I'm now just going to brush the inside with a little bit of my melted butter. I just melted about 1.5 tablespoons of this, and this is just going to help the sugar to stick to the inside. Now you don't want to overload this with butter, and you also don't want to warm up this dough too much. Now I have my sugar. I have a 1 cup measuring cup. I'm not going to use nearly that much, but it's just easier to grab and start sprinkling. So I'm going to sprinkle a nice generous amount of sugar all over this. Now finally, what I'm going to do is I am going to fold this on either side. So you make it look like this, and then I'm going to fold it once more and try to keep it as even as possible. And then on the top of these 2 folds that are together, I'm going to add another quick layer of the melted butter, which will help it hold its shape, and it will also give a nice color to that middle part where all that sugar is. And then I fold it together and press it very lightly. Now because I've been manipulating this quite a bit, it has gotten a little bit warm, so I'm going to put this onto my cutting board and I'm going to throw it in the freezer for a good 10 minutes. and let it firm back up before I cut it and throw it into the oven. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes and this has firmed up nicely in the freezer, so I'm now going to just slice it very thinly. Make sure that you have a nice sharp knife for this. I also have sugar on a plate. This is the remaining sugar that I had in that cup. I'm going to dip each cookie on either side into this just so that we have a nice crust on the outside of the cookies. And then I'm just laying them onto an ungreased baking sheet. There's so much butter inside of the puff pastry that you don't really need to grease your baking sheet. So we're just going to cut this up, sugar them up, and then lay them down. Alright, these are done. What I've also done is sort of split the top here for both sides of these so it'll expand out. And then I also press them down just a little bit, not too much, so that they'll hold together. These are full of sugar, so they may expand out, but they'll be delicious no matter what they do. Now I'm going to put these into a 400-degree Fahrenheit oven for 7 minutes, and then I'll flip them so that they're nice and brown on either side, and then cook them for another 7 minutes, and then we'll see how they come out. Okay, these are right out of the oven. They are, you can hear them sizzling. You can also see that they've turned a nice, lovely golden brown on top. They're crispy. They're a little bit soft right now, but that's just because they need to crisp up because they're still warm and all of that butter inside of the puff pastry is still quite soft. So we're going to let these cool down, and then we're going to try them. Well, what do you think? Oh, jeez. Well, I guess he liked them. These are wonderful little cookies. They are so light and they are so light and so sugary. They have a lovely shape. This one's opened up a little bit more than normal. This one's probably closer to the shape that you normally get. They look like little hearts or little ears, and as you can see, they have...
They don't look like my ears.
No, they look more like elephant ears.
I'm not an elephant.
I know, but that's why they call them elephant ears.
Oh.
I think that's as much sugar as you're gonna get. Maybe one more. They also have a lot of layers because they're made with puff pastry, and they really do crunch when you eat them. They're very crunchy, very sweet, very light, perfect for a dessert or a snack.
Hey.
So how'd you like that recipe, Presto? Yep, I think...
I want more.
Okay, well we can always make more because they're so easy to make. All you need is a sheet of puff pastry, and I recommend...
2 sheets.
Okay, we will make 2 sheets of puff pastry. I recommend always having a sheet of puff pastry in your refrigerator so that you can make lots of different recipes with it.
Ooh.
Yeah. So what can people do if they enjoyed hanging out with us today?
Oh, they can share.
Yep, you can share this video with your friends, put it on Facebook, Twitter, whatever social media you have, or just show them what next time you're watching. What else can they do?
Subscribe!
You can subscribe. If you subscribe, you will keep up with all of the different recipes we make. We make a different 3-ingredient recipe every Thursday.
Thursday?
Yep, and you can also leave a comment down below.
If there's where I was hiding for the video?
Yep, where if you see Presto down below in the comments, say hello to him. Otherwise, you can just leave a comment and let us know.
Anybody here.
Oh, well, they're not here yet because we're recording right now.
Oh.
So leave a comment, let us know what kind of recipes you'd like us to make. We will try to make it with just 3 ingredients. So until next time, we will see you again soon.
Bye-bye!
Bye-bye!
Ooh, well, I was waiting to make my entrance.
Oh, you were waiting all this time?
Of course.
Wow, it's been months and months. We would have called you if we'd known you were way down there.
Well, yeah, I was getting cold.
One more time. Sorry, my hair is looking very, very weird right now.
My hair is weird too.
You're just a weird hair.
Ow!
Oh. Okay, there we go.